Hi everyone, my name is Professor Monique Selden-Riley and I'll be your instructor for General Psychology this semester. The class code for this is SSI-122-04. Now, I wanted to take a sec to go over your class syllabus as this is just going to help you to complete that pre-quiz, just navigate the class, all that, okay? So, I have it right here in front of me. We'll be meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 on your school's Microsoft Teams account. Okay, so it should already be in your calendar. So as I mentioned before, my name is Monique, and my email is there, my Google Cell is there. Just try and keep that 9 to 5, okay? Keep it Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 business hours, okay? That's the only time you guys will probably hear from me. Now, what I will say is, if it's something that you really want to get across or something you like, 2 o'clock in the morning, oh, I forgot such and such. Email is fine, okay? But in terms of my Google Cell or calling, texting, all that, 9 to 5, okay? In terms of my office hours, I'm available all day, like I said, 9 to 5. But my official office hours are going to be Mondays and Wednesdays. And they're going to be 9:15 to about 10:15. And then again at about 1:50 to 1:20, okay? With that being said, in this class, we're going to be going over all those psych theories and learning about different schools of thought having to do with psychology. We're going to be talking about all the subsections of psychology. There's no textbook for our class. I don't really believe in paying additional money for things that we don't need to, right? But I will provide you with the course materials. And so with that being said, I'm going to ask you to please refrain from using the internet. A lot of times the information on the internet conflicts with what's going on in the class. And then now we have points being taken off. People are, like it gets nasty. So just use the class materials, please. In terms of how I'll be teaching, it'll be online lectures. We'll be doing writing. We'll be having quizzes, videos, little things like that. And when you complete the class, you'll be able to talk about what psychology is and explain the themes and the theories associated with psych and human behavior, talk about the sociocultural effects on the field and on people and things like that. Also, you'll be able to talk about like the field in terms of like the professional nature or the having to do with research or all that stuff, okay? Lastly, you'll be able to write a term paper using APA citation. Now, in lieu of having you actually write a term paper and be all stressed out, I'm going to have you guys learn APA skills through other means. But we'll talk about that later on. In terms of our student code of conduct, you guys can read that on your own, but I like to highlight 2 aspects, okay? Be nice and don't cheat. Those are my 2 big ones, okay? So be nice, meaning just be respectful of others. You can disagree, that's fine. But understand that everybody comes from a different place. Everybody has different experiences. Everybody has different belief systems, values, all that. So with that being said, there's a what you say and there's a how you say. So keep in mind that those are 2 different things. You can say something very differently and get your message across. In terms of don't cheat, we're going to do a heavy emphasis on APA citation this year or this semester, and that's hopefully will help us. And if you guys have any questions on like cheating or plagiarism or anything like that, let me know, let the library know, let whoever. I'm willing to work with students, because you got to learn at some point, right? In regards to tutoring, what I will say is that the school does offer tutors and they're great, but because I'm in the class and I know what I'm talking about in terms of like, what do you mean on this piece of paper when you said that the rubric and this and that and the third, come to me first, okay? If either you're like, Monique sucks, I don't like her teaching style, or she's never available, or I just rather not talk to her because she got a big head, whatever. You can go to the tutors and that's fine, okay? If you either have a disability or feel as though you might have a disability, you can always contact Student Accessibility Services, and they're really good. They'll work with you to provide you with accommodations and get your needs met, okay? And that information is also in your syllabus. In terms of attendance policy, this semester is kind of crazy, so there's no attendance policy, but on the contrary, I am requiring that students show up to class for participation purposes. So you kind of, even though it's not officially required, so I'm not going to need like absent notes and things like that. I expect you to show up, okay? And also check your emails, check your coursework page, check your Remind app, check your emails, the announcements page, check all that stuff, and be checking it regularly, like probably like 3 times a week, to be honest, just to make sure that you're up to date on everything, any changes that are happening, things like that. I suggest students sign up for RAVE, which is the college's emergency notification service. But what we do get with that is we get text messages, emails, and a phone call when something's going down. Now, they don't call you all the time. They don't text you all the time. It's not like telemarketers and stuff like that. It's just really effective. So I suggest you get it. In terms of how we'll be meeting, I told you before, we're going to be meeting synchronously online, so all at once online on Teams Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30, okay? And so with that being said, there will be, I want you guys to understand that I have a bit of a life outside of this, so if I don't get you your email within 24, I try and do it within 24 hours. I'm really like good with myself about doing that, but give me at least 24 hours to respond. And if I do not respond within 24 hours, it's an oversight. So just shoot me another email like, hey, Monique, what's up? Right? I have no problem just, going over whatever needs to be went over with you. Professionalism, that's a big one here. I'm seeing that a lot of times students don't get their needs met, and it has nothing to do with their capability or the need or whatever it is, and everything to do with professionalism. So with that being said, I'm requiring that students implement like certain classroom policies when working in this class, and my hope is that they'll extend to your other classroom. So I've given you guys a video on classroom policies and things like that. I need you guys to go over that, understand it, even like something as simple as putting in the subject line SSI-122-04, letting me know where you're coming from, because honestly, then I have to go through and try and figure out, I got 150 students, I gotta figure out which one this is, what class are they in, what class are they talking about, like let me know what's going on. So just set that standard. That's gonna be a requirement for all student emails. So please, if you want me to get back to you, just make sure that you're putting that in there so I understand exactly what's going on. There are some other classroom policies, like I mentioned, that I'm making another video for. In terms of how you'll be graded on your discussion posts and responses. That's 50%. Your quizzes are going to be 25%, and your classroom participation is 25%. Now, let's talk about those. So the discussion posts are going to be due on Wednesday at 11:30 p.m. Okay, so on Wednesdays at 11:30 p.m., you'll be turning in a discussion post on that topic. On Saturday, you have to do a response to at least one other person in your class. Okay, and I'll have a video with the rubric and all the rest of that on what I'm looking for within those discussion posts, as well as the responses. But those are going to be worth up to 50% of your grade. So those are kind of heavily weighted. So definitely, okay, pay attention to those. Quizzes they're short. They're 10 questions, multiple choice. There's always an extra credit question. And they'll be based on whatever we're learning, plus a little bit of APA citation, okay? That's what's gonna kind of take over the ideas behind the APA citation. I'm really gonna push that in order to eliminate, like I said, that long, stressful paper. And like I said, there's always gonna be extra credit, whether it be within the quiz or something that I asked you to do, like, oh, take this quiz and I'll give you extra 5%, on your actual quiz, right? Those are going to be due on Saturdays at 11:30 as well. So please, now you have 2 things to do on Saturdays at 11:30, so get those in. Same thing for extra credit, Saturdays 11:30. Classwork and participation, as I mentioned, there is no official attendance policy for like you guys to be in class and this and that, but I'm paying attention. Who's answering questions, who's helping others, who's doing this, who's doing that, right? Who's showing up, who's not showing up, right? I'm paying attention to those things. One thing I also will say to you guys is that I'm not requiring that people have their cameras on. Like I don't think it's appropriate. Like for instance, I have a freaking bouncy house in the background, right? But at the same time, I am requiring that, or I am suggesting that students do, just because it makes it a lot easier when we're having communications and things like that. So I would never require that, and I would never take points off, but it is highly suggested. And that pretty much sums up that portion of our syllabus, but I do want to get into our tentative schedule, and that's, I don't know if you guys can see it, that paper. So what we will do is, I have a lot of extra credit kind of scattered throughout the course. Mostly in the beginning though, you'll see some extra credit. So with that, I want you guys to do like an introductory post, tell me who you are, even like if you want to include your pronouns, what your dreams are, what your hopes are, whatever you don't feel comfortable doing, you don't have to do. Like we don't need you to know your business, but do a little bit of something. Tell me what you hope to get out of the class. Maybe why you're taking the class, whatever it is, right? And so the 2 extra credit assignments that'll be due, are going to be your syllabus, in my RCC, or your class policy quiz. Now, with that being said, that's a brief little, I think it's 10 questions, multiple choice, and super, super easy on what I'm talking about now, and then also your class policies. And then also there's another extra credit assignment on the Remind application. So I really want you guys to go in, sign up for Remind. Once that's done, just let me know. And you'll see those assignments on my RCC, and then I'll add that grade to one of your other grades. So, but it's said all in the website, so you guys get that. So like I said, every week you have the discussion post and a quiz due. There's a break. And then also I really emphasize self-care, the act of self-care. Now, some of you guys I'm sure are like, what the heck is self-care, right? So self-care is our ability to take care of ourselves by doing something that is just for us, not necessarily academic related, not work related, not child related, not just something that is for you, whether that be take a bubble bath with your headphones on, whether that is to go for a jog outside, or you do like me and you just paint, right? Self-care, something for you that just like is a way to release. It's stressful times, and I try and run a no stress environment, so let's really promote that self-care. And with that being said, that class will be canceled. So with that, I just want you to write a quick little post. Usually it's like 2 sentences maybe. I cooked. It was good and relaxing. That's it. And then respond to somebody else's. In the past, I found those really effective because students have done things such as, like, I've had students exchanging recipes, or just like, it's real dope the way it kind of unfolds, right? And then there's an extra credit paper as well that I'm allowing for students to earn. So this is actually very heavily weighted. It's worth up to an additional 10% of your grade. So if you have a B, that can skyrocket up to an A. You know what I mean? But the extra credit paper it's a bit of a longer and more intricate process, but we'll go over that as the semester goes on. So with that being said, that wraps up our syllabus. Please feel free to go on and take that that quiz, and let me know if you guys have any questions or need anything, please. I look forward to having an awesome semester with you guys. Bye, everyone.